Hey guys, how's it going? Conrail John here. Recently picked up one of the, or actually finally got from a friend after trading him a pair of Kato-9s half a year ago. Finally got a one of the newer Athearn Genesis GP15s. Of course, mine is Conrail, no surprise there, and it has Tsunami sound, which I'm very happy about. This is my first diesel locomotive with Tsunami. And it's really cool. So thought I'd do a little review here. Never really done one of these. I know there's other people that have reviewed this engine already, but I'm gonna do my own. So yeah, live with that. All right, so I'll get it. It's down in the engine house there. I'm gonna fire it up and we'll pull it out and talk a little more about it, I guess. Alright, so here it is. This is the Conrail 1645. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like the sound of the normally aspirated EMD 645 that Tsunami did. I mean, honestly, hands down, Tsunami is like the best sound out there. I really don't think the QSIs or the ESUs sound nearly as good. QSI just has the best quality of sound, I think. So I did a little tweaking with this the other day after I accidentally locked it out trying to program it, and after pouring through the Soundtraxx website and Athearn, I finally figured out how to unlock it if you accidentally lock it and forget the code. So that was fun. Yeah, so I did some playing with the CVs, and I got it a little more to my liking. I don't know if you noticed, most of the Tsunamis you hear people have, when you ring the bell is like ringing really fast, and I slowed mine down a lot to more of what an actual EMD bell would ring at. Normally functioning anyway. Obviously when they get screwed up they sound a little weird, but I just like that a little better. I turned the reverb on to the horn, and I played with the bass on it a little bit, so it's a little louder, and I think it sounds a little bit better. I'm not a huge fan of the horns that come with the Tsunami. This is, of course, the RS3L, which is the Leslie RS3L, which is right for this engine. But I just think they could have found a better recording of the RS3L for, you know, as much as they charge you for one of these decoders. But you know, it's all right. One cool thing that I love about Tsunamis is that they come built in with dimmable headlight. So F7 on this engine anyway does that. So it's dim right now. Take the dimmer off, and it's a little bit brighter. So I like that a lot. I love. There's a way to do the Rule 17 lighting to keep the front headlight on it all the time. Which, if you're switching just a light engine, you know, you put it in reverse. In real life, the headlight is not going to turn off unless the engineer physically turns it off. So, and that's always been one of the reasons I did go to DCC is because not only for the sound, but for you can control your lights like the prototype versus DC. You put the engine in reverse and the back headlight comes on. Well, that's not realistic. So, turn that headlight back on there or put it back and forward. I'm going to pull this down. We'll go for a little trip around the layout here. We'll go grab the Conrail transfer caboose and take it down to the part of my layout that actually does have a little bit of scenery, and we'll talk a little more about it. So. Alright, so we're over where I've done a little bit of ballasting and put a little bit of grass. Progress is slow. Anyway, yeah, so a little more about this locomotive. I've always loved GP15s. GP15s are like probably my favorite Jeeps. And when I heard Genesis was doing GP15s a couple of years ago, I was like, ah, finally. I almost bought one of those Proto 1000 Walthers ones, and looking back on it, I'm really glad that I didn't, because I mean, these are just so much nicer. You really, I mean, I love Atlas engines. Atlas engines are super nice and super detailed, but honestly, as far as like details and prototype specific details go, you can't beat Athearn, especially the Genesis. They're beautiful. I mean, I know they have some drivetrain problems and all that, but for the most part, I would rate Athearn Genesis as at least among the best. So this engine is still kind of loud. I think I am going to go and program it be a little softer. With a layout the size of mine, it's only, I don't know, my layout's like 14 by like 8 or 9 or something like that. It's not huge, the whole room. I just don't need it to be that loud, and it's just, they do sound better when they're turned down a lot. The speaker isn't as overpowered. You're not trying to put as much sound out of that little tiny speaker. But one of the things that I did really like about these is how Athearn got all the prototype specific details right. At the Conrail. The Conrail ones have the cab signal box on the side of the nose there. They did come with an all-weather window, which I believe Conrail was weird. They only really, at least from what I've been able to find, they only really put the all-weather windows on during the winter time, and they would actually take them off in the spring. And I don't know if every engine got that or what. That's something I'm still not quite sure about. And then the model came with sunshades too, and I have yet to find a picture of one of these with sunshades on. Not to say that they didn't have them at one point, so I think I'm just going to leave them off as is. They also just recently announced these in the quality paint scheme, so you can expect to see me get at least one of those in the future. I love Conrail, love the quality scheme too, especially on these little buggers. They're cool. For those that are wondering, that is a New Jersey NJ Custom Brass Penn Central, New York Central transfer caboose that I had painted up in Conrail by a friend of mine. I don't really have the skill to do that by myself, so that's always a fun piece when people come over. Like, oh, where'd you get the transfer caboose? Well, I didn't make it myself. So, yeah, but this engine, you know, just extremely well detailed. Looks, you know, the dimensions are right. It's not too tall or too wide or anything. It's just all around very nice engine. Runs very smoothly. Whatever drive they use in like the GP15s and the MP15s, like the RTR SW1500s, awesome drive. I wish they all ran as smooth as these did. Another thing about this engine, when you go to accelerate, I think it notches up a little too fast for my liking. So I mean, it's screaming in notch 8 by the time you're doing like a scale 25 or 30 miles an hour. So that'll be something I'm going to change. Just a few more things about this engine here. I was running out of space on the camera, so I had to go and delete some crap that was on there. That's why the break in speech. Got the Conrail no trespassing sign back there. Eventually that'll get hung on the wall and there'll be a backdrop there. But for the meantime, everything's just kind of cluttered in here. Layout's just kind of serving as a storage space for everything right now. But a few more things I really like about this engine is that I really think Athearn has the best Blomberg trucks out of anybody. They definitely look the best. I mean, you got the builder's plate on there, which if you zoom in on enough with a magnifying glass, you can actually read, which is really cool. But that's common these days. You got the locomotive speed limiter light right there. That was for running on the Northeast Corridor. And of course, you got the cab signal box. So these things could lead in cab signal territory. You got the right RS3L up there. You have a Sinclair antenna on the roof. All the little lift rings along the top. I really don't like the McHenry scale couplers that they come with. I'm going to put Katie's on this at some point. And cut the trip pins off, because trip pins are stupid. and they give me more grief than anything else, and I don't use magnetic uncoupling, and I never will, so we're going to get rid of those pretty soon. Yeah, all in all, you know, just a really nice looking, nice sounding engine. Very pleased with it. Doesn't weigh as much as the non-sound versions. Subsequently, it doesn't pull a lot. My hill going up into my yard and going up into my staging yard on the other end of the layout, it'll only do. Yesterday we ran a train and only about 9 cars up that hill, and it's a 2% grade on a curve, so that's it's pretty steep for one engine. I say that's acceptable. My trains don't get much longer than that on this layout, so that's not too bad. But yeah, so maybe at some point we'll weather this thing up, give it ditch lights. That'll be a little while down the road, but for now, just a nice little engine to run my locals with and switch the yard, and it sounds great. So thanks for watching, guys. I don't know, stay cool, do whatever you're doing out there on YouTube. Go watch some more videos of Genesis GP15s or whatever. I know I've spent a lot of time doing that. I'm not sure if I'm proud of that or not. Anyway, talk to you guys later.